So what is enough to make sure 1 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight? Boom! Boom! What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, and IFBB Pro. Check it out. Can you eat too much protein? Can you eat too much protein? It's a good question. A gram per pound of body weight, 2 grams per pound of body weight, 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. I've seen 3 grams per pound of body weight. So what is the answer? Well, we're going to go by what is recommended by the International Society of Sport Nutrition, who compiled all this available data, and they gave us something to work on. Now, looking at what athletes need versus what sedentary individuals need, well, it's going to differ because athletes will need more protein because the demands of their muscles and their bodies for recovery, protein synthesis, but we're going to look at optimizing it for athletes. Now, we've had studies go up as high as 2.5, 3 grams of protein per pound of body weight with no deleterious effects on health. Protein, unless you are in a state of kidney failure, unless you have renal failure, protein is actually fine. So what happens when you eat too much protein? Well, if your body needs it, it gets converted into glucose via a process known as gluconeogenesis. So essentially, when you eat protein or overeat protein in lieu of other macronutrients like carbohydrate, it simply becomes really expensive rice. Whereas if you undereat protein, your body cannot derive amino acids from glucose. So while you can derive glucose from amino acids, you cannot derive amino acids from glucose. So what does that mean? Well, that means that you need to make sure you have adequate protein. Now, we're going to also delve into Natty versus enhanced because it does matter, but not as much. So the reason ketogenic diets do what they do and the reason you need your fat to be really high, a true ketogenic diet, not a bro ketogenic diet or a carnivore diet disguised as a ketogenic diet, is actually around 70 to 80% fat, with the rest coming from protein and trace carbs. Now, if you do a higher protein, lower fat diet, let's say 70% protein, 30% fat, you probably won't hit ketosis because the protein, again, your body goes for the path of least resistance. So instead of utilizing fat for ketones, your body will be like, hey, we got this cool source, these amino acids here. We could turn these things into glucose. Let's go there. So instead of going through a whole different energy process, your body will utilize the protein for, glucose via gluconeogenesis. Now, if you are fat adapted, if you've already reached ketogenesis, if you've already reached ketosis, then you'll be fine. You could probably have a higher protein, lower fat diet on a ketogenic diet. But to get into ketosis, to get your body switched over to that fuel source, you're going to have to go really high on fat or even more fasting. So let's look at it this way. What should an athlete do? Bottom line, based on the data I've seen, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight for everybody, including sedentary individuals, is probably the best way to go. Here's why. Athletes need the protein for recovery, regeneration, all that good stuff, and just to function. Because again, there's essential amino acids and there's essential fatty acids. There's no essential carbohydrate. But carbohydrates are protein sparing because your body doesn't have to convert the protein or the amino acids to carbohydrate or glucose via gluconeogenesis. So carbohydrate are protein sparing, which means you can eat less protein, but you still need to make sure you have enough. So what is enough to make sure 1 to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight, period? That's what I'd go for. If you need, that means if you're a 200 pound dude, 200 pound chick, that's 200 to 300 grams of protein a day. That will cover your bases just fine. Now, if you are trying to lose weight, one thing you've been shown is that protein is very hard to overeat on. It is extremely satiating per the amount of food you eat. So if you are a fat person trying to lose fat, one simple fix, one simple hack is to make sure that you fill your diet with protein first. So if you fill up on protein, you're less likely to gain weight. You're more likely to undereat than overeat. Now, on the same note, if you're already lean and you're trying to stay lean, eating a higher protein diet will make it very, very hard for your body to put on weight. It just is what it is per the data. So is there a reason to take your protein above 2 grams per pound? No. Now, when I was prepping, I was around 215, 220 pounds, and my protein was at around 350 grams. So 350, that's under 2, around 1.5, grams per pound, a little bit high, but you also had an issue with satiation. My carbohydrate were already very high at 350 grams as well. And then on the days where I took my carbohydrate down to 200 or lower, I was able to negate the hunger by having the satiating effect of the protein. So it's a very easy yet complex thing. Americans do not eat enough protein, at least via the food pyramid. The food pyramid has killed more people than any communist tyrannical regime in the history of the world. The food pyramid is the devil. They literally have you living on bread and cereal. It's not how you do it. Build your base, build your diet around protein. Fill in the gaps with fat and carbohydrate. One rule of thumb, set protein to 1 gram per pound of body weight, set fat to around 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. Fill in the rest of your caloric needs with carbohydrate. That's one good way around it. So the answer is, can you overeat protein? From a safety standpoint, it's really hard to do. But do you need to overeat protein? Do you need to shove down 4 grams of protein per pound of body weight? More protein doesn't necessarily equal better results. And your body likes carbohydrate. Training performance likes carbohydrate. Carbohydrate's just awesome. Go to the gym without a carbohydrate in your body, then go to the gym with a carbohydrate in your body. Guarantee you your pumps will be much better with the carbohydrate. And if you're going to go that route, you need an energy source. Well, there's fat. So if you're a keto guy, that's fine. Just realize that ketosis works when your protein is really low, but then your protein is below where I'd want to see your protein for actual gains. But again, there's so much to it. So to get to the nitty gritty, protein, gram per pound of body weight, you can go higher. It probably won't kill you unless you're a renal failure patient, but there's really no need. Protein, 1 gram to 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. You don't need to go higher. And that means if you're on steroids, see, the thing is steroids make your protein even more efficient. So that means that I can argue, they're like, oh, the more steroids, the more protein. No. I can actually argue that it makes your steroids make your protein so much more efficient that you actually can buy with a gram per pound, no problem, no worries, because it's going to be maximized. Then you can focus on carbohydrate and fat for their other effects. But I'm still not going below a gram. In fact, I'd like to see 1 gram to 1.5 grams, somewhere in there. Don't go below 1 gram. Hey guys, let me know your thoughts. It's my thought on it. Protein's good. Eat it. But you don't have to eat so much that you're tired of it. All right. Enjoy the chicken breast, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click on the notification bell, and check out and subscribe to our new channel, Lobliner Lowdown podcast, coming soon. That's not a game.
Look, bro, Ambrosia Kinetic is back in stock. This is the only mushroom pre-workout on the market, and literally this is all you need.
Don't need it. I just get mushrooms from the grocery store.
The type of mushrooms that I'm talking about, you can't buy in the grocery store. You need a shaman. Nah, but seriously though, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, they do so many things. Antioxidants, not to mention the raw power that you're gonna get from the creatine. You're not gonna get this with that.
I don't eat creatine. I just eat steak.
So you'll need a few pounds of steak for the amount of creatine that we put in here.
It's all right, bro. I like steak.
Listen, man, the type of focus that you get from the ginseng, the neurofactor, the coffee bean, you're not getting that without Kinetic.
I get all the energy I need from coffee.
That's not enough caffeine. You're not going to get the same energy.
For energy, I get white powder right here.
You've lost your mind, but I still love you. Let's go train. I don't care what you're saying. We're taking Kinetic. This is all we need. Let's get out of here.